got to stop eating like this at breakfast.
Yeah.
Or people will talk. They'll talk. They'll wonder
Well, let them
why
wonder.
you keep your little room at the executive club.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that room until I'm sure, you know, that...
But it's silly, you know.
Go of it, you and me here.
Take me home and stay there late at night, and then you pick me up early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Just being cautious. Last night you were really good. I mean, you declared war on Antonio Reyes. You said you were going to boil Ambrose in oil, and then you want to try to pump the Oakdale Police Department for information on the Lombard story?
My solemn duty, darling.
Oh, yeah.
Solemn duty. I publish a newspaper.
The problem here is that you get on these power trips and they bleed over into our personal life.
No. I've learned. Never with you, never with Duke. You know, I think it'd be wonderful.
What?
If you were to move back in the house, you know, for our 3rd anniversary. It's 3 years.
3?
Yes.
Well, it hasn't been dull.
For the most part. No.
Oh, thanks.
Do you think I donate enough money to this hospital for the chief of staff to give me a good morning kiss? Oh.
I think we have to talk about last night and the future of our relationship.
Iva, I'm not sure our relationship has a future anymore.
Okay. Well, you know, all I can say is that, you know, the therapies, it's just brought up, you know, all these feelings.
I understand that. I really do. But you've got to understand what it felt like for me when you compared me and my wanting to make love to you to being attacked by Josh. I couldn't sleep all night. I just kept thinking about what had happened, about what this means.
Oh, well, it was the same for me, too.
I think what it means in the cold, bleak light of day is that we're nowhere. And after all the months of waiting and loving you and trying to build something permanent, I think that's very sad.
Caleb. Caleb.
Ellie, you there?
Yeah. I heard Hal say that he's arresting you for Brock's murder and that other man.
Yeah, look, I have to go down to the station, okay?
Caleb, they can't do that. They know that Brock was killed within the Lombard family. They know that. And the other man, it was a setup to make you look guilty. They cannot do this.
Ellie, look, I can't even think right now, okay? I gotta go, all right?
I want to speak to Hal, please.
Yeah. Hal, Ellie wants to talk to you. Listen, can I go upstairs and get my jacket?
I'm sorry, Caleb. I can't let you do that unless I go with you. Turn around. Come on.
As the world turns.
Ellie, it's Hal.
Hal, what are you doing? You know Caleb didn't kill anyone.
I'm sorry, Ellie, but the way the evidence has come in, we just don't have any choice. Your brother doesn't even know this yet, but when he gave us that second set of prints, the prints that our men found over at Brock's suite matched the prints that were on the desk and the stereo, which Caleb says he never even touched.
I didn't!
It's all part of the same setup. I heard Joe Bailey say that the night that Brock was murdered. It's the same with the other guy. Caleb was set up with a phone call. If you fall into this, Philip Lombard is gonna win, and Brock will have died for nothing.
Well, if more evidence comes in, Ellie, we'll find it. But right now, I've got to take him in.
Could I talk to Caleb, please?
Sorry, Ellie, he only gets one phone call now, and that's to his lawyer.
Will you please give him a message and tell him that I'll be at the police station when you bring him in?
I'll tell him.
Ready?
Oh, yeah, Hal, I'm ready as I'll ever be to be booked for 2 murders I didn't commit.
I'm sorry for all the trouble you've been through, Emily.
Thank you. I just hope the police find whoever killed Brock and makes them pay for it.
I wish that the police showed more concern to do just that.
Well, I agree with you, Lucinda.
Have you any idea why this case is being shrouded in such secrecy? Why the DA won't talk to the press? And he really ought to. I mean, Tom ought to be aware that he was reelected by only a few votes.
Okay, well, that's good.
No, darling, I talked to Philip Lombard last night, and I was shocked. Really, really shocked. The man knows less about this than anyone else. And as I understand it, there's millions of dollars in cash are involved. Yes.
Yeah, I know, but the police seem to have
Darling, watch what you say. Lucinda owns a newspaper. You don't think that I'm talking to Emily because of my newspaper?
Yes, I do. You came to my apartment, wanting to see her, and that's exactly what you wanted.
Wrong, wrong, wrong.
I don't think so. Come on, darling. Let's have some coffee.
That was slick. That was cute, you know?
What?
Come on, Emily's been through a lot.
Oh,
Give her a
poor
break.
Emily. I wish I were half so tough. And I resent Susan.
You're trying to get inside information so you could write it up in the City Times. Susan is
Oh,
trying
so
to...
you think Susan's right?
I think she's right.
Of course you do. You always think Susan's right.
This killer instinct of yours, you let it even get into these personal situations here.
Killer?
Yeah.
I'm no killer. Marshmallow, that's what I am. You save your advice for Susan, because she laps it up.
I don't know why you just don't tell him what Lucinda did to you before Christmas. It would really open his eyes about a few things.
I'm sorry about all of that.
You want some coffee or something?
No, I'll get my coat and purse and everything. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have come here.
We had to see each other sooner or later.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I never meant to hurt you. But you have to know it's not intentional. It's just some emotional reaction that I have and I can't control it. And then when I realized that you wouldn't take no for an answer.
Do you remember all the times that I did take no for an answer? See, I thought you were finally ready to get close again.
Well, a part of me was. I mean, don't you think I want to make love with you without having some horrible memory of the past? I don't want to be like this. But I can't trust a man.
But I thought you were beginning to trust me.
I was. I mean, somehow it just doesn't... It doesn't seem to make a difference, you know? When we're alone together and you want to make love to me, I thought about this all night long. And I can't. I don't know how long it's gonna be, you know, for me to get over this, to get past it, or whatever. And so I'm gonna, you know, release you from any kind of commitment that you feel to me. So.
Well, I thought about this all night long, too, and it occurred to me that maybe because of the things I've done in the past that, well, there's just no way you can trust me, and no matter how hard I try to change and no matter what I do, I'm just never going to be perfect enough for you to inspire that kind of trust. I mean, maybe somebody else can do it, but I don't think I can.
So, I guess there's nothing else to say. Okay.
This would be so much easier if I didn't love you so damn much.
I hope it's not a permanent move to Oakdale.
I really don't know, Dr. Herbert. I didn't realize till I went home how much I had missed my family and friends. And of course, Boston doesn't have so many happy memories for me. You know, waking up in my old apartment this morning, I half expected Larry to drop by for breakfast. Or to find his sports car parked in my spot when I got here this morning. I really thought that I had put it all behind me, but...
Excuse me. Yes? Just a moment, please. It's for you. Sean Baxter?
Oh, great, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Hi, Sean. How are you?
Oh, not so hot. Hearing your voice makes it a little better, though.
Same here. So how's Courtney?
Oh, I think I'm going to need a little sage advice from a trained psychologist.
Well, I'll do my best. Listen, maybe we'll have time to see a little of Boston and maybe have lunch on the pier before we fly back.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. I miss you. I'm leaving now. I'm going to be there very soon, okay?
Okay. Bye-bye.
Franny.
Larry, what are you doing here?
I hope your mother isn't inside or en route.
No, don't worry. She's having breakfast with John.
Oh, that makes me feel better. Look, here are the ideas I went over last night and some others I came up with. I think they'll help you with your clients till Sean gets back.
Thank you, thank you. I promise you, you will be well rewarded.
Yeah? Well, how about helping me out later today when I tell Lucinda that I'm leaving?
Well, I thought you didn't have to give notice.
Well, technically, I don't, but there are only 3 working days left till my contract expires. I really should tell her.
But, you know, I was hoping that you'd be able to pick up more strategy while you're still at Walsh. I mean, if they know you're leaving.
Ooh, you're talking industrial espionage, lady. Look, I really do think I should tell her, but when I get over here next week and start on the job, I can give you all the strategy you want, all firsthand.
Okay, it's your decision. By the way, I'd like you to know that I'm giving you Emily's old office. I'll work out here or across the hall with Sean.
Hi.
Emily.
Well, good to see you.
Hi, Blake. I guess you won't be needing me today.
No, I do. Blake just stopped by to drop off a few ideas. He won't be starting here full-time for a couple more days. How are you?
I'm a bit numb. I thought maybe coming to work would help me a little bit.
Well, I'm sure it will. Couldn't come at a better time for me. I'm a nervous wreck with Sean gone. I'm dreading the calls from the clients.
I think you're gonna do just fine. It'll be good to have Craig's old partner here. Look, I gotta get back to Walsh before Lucinda shows up.
Okay, hey, thanks for those.
Oh, no problem. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, Blake. Do you want some coffee or something?
No. Oh, no, thank you.
Montgomery and Associates? Just a moment. It's Philip Lombard. Do you want to talk to him? Emily?
Yeah. Hello, Philip.
I'm surprised to find you back at work, but I got no answer when I called your mother's.
Well, I thought maybe coming into work would help me, but now that I'm here, I'm not so sure.
I know what you're going through. Jim Carlisle and I are about to make the saddest journey of my life, taking Brock's body up to Lake Forest. Before I left the police station, District Attorney Hughes and his wife told me they were about to make an arrest.
Well, who?
They wouldn't tell me. Will you do what you can to find out? I'll call you later when we talk about your coming up for the funeral.
What are you doing? You know that Caleb didn't kill anyone. What's going on here?
How'd you find out?
I found out because I was on the phone to Caleb when Hal came over to arrest him. Caleb, they can't do this to you.
They're doing it. So what? Philip Lombard finally won, huh?
His best wishes for the coming quarter, etc. My, you know. Jane! Why haven't you reached Ambrose?
Well, I kept trying till 3 o'clock last night and again this morning, but he's not at his office. He's not at home.
He's hiding out on me. I know he is, you know, ever since he sold my television station, WOAK, to Tony O'Reyes' dummy corporation.
Lucinda, Ambrose wouldn't hide. I'm sure he's just out of town on business.
All right, well, where's Kirk? Let's get him in here.
He's not coming in today. Ella said that he's not feeling well.
Ellie said he's not feeling well. Mm-hmm. All right, let's have Ellie in here. Let's have a little talk
Well,
with
she
her.
had to leave on some kind of personal emergency.
I'm so sick of personal emergencies. I'm so sick of them. And I would like a talk with that young lady because I know that she knows much more about this Lombard murder than she's letting on.
Well, I wouldn't press her on it. The poor thing looked so exhausted and worried when she was in earlier.
Oh, the poor thing. It doesn't occur to you that maybe she shot him. She shot Lombard with her own little hands.
Lucinda.
The police are protecting that girl.
Ellie would never murder anyone. How can you even think of saying something like that?
Where is Blake? Get Blake in here. We'll get working on Inside Oakdale if Kirk will not honor us with his presence. Fine, I'll give the whole deal. I'll give it all to Blake.
Blake called to say he'd be in late.
That's torn it. Olivia? Get Olivia in here.
She's in Chicago with Whitney's.
Yes, I should have known that. I've got one who's sick. I've got one who's with the police. I've got one who's sleeping and one who's sleeping with I don't know who. What kind of a crew is this? Really? Really? Has Ellie's office been unsealed by the police?
Yes, the police left about an hour ago.
Good. Maybe we're going to find out, finally, who garroted a man on my premises last night.
Lucinda, I don't even want to think about it. I've been here alone so many nights.
Morning. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, it's wonderful to see you. Welcome, welcome. Everyone else has deserted the ship, but you are my helmsman. You are my Steuermann. And you know what? You're going to be rewarded. I'm going to give you Inside Oakdale.
You giving me Inside Oakdale?
Where have you been? And how can you walk into my office with your face wreathed in smiles? You sold my station to Tony O'Reyes. He's going to use my station to his ugly advantage.
But Tony O'Reyes set up a dummy firm. How could I
Don't
possibly...
you say that to me. You have taught me a lesson. You have taught me a very hurtful lesson. I cannot trust anyone. I cannot trust anyone, not anyone that I love. No one. Except maybe Blake.
Hey, you look tired.
Oh, gee, just what every girl wants to hear.
Well, I'm concerned about you. I know you got called into ER last night because of that accident, right?
Well, I wasn't the only one in ER.
No, but you have other things that you're trying to deal with at the same time. I think you should get some more rest.
Yeah? Well, I'll be fine. After I've had my 10th cup of coffee.
I'm detecting a little tension here between you and me. Did I do something? Did I say something wrong to you?
Well, now that you've asked, you know, it really upsets me to see you with Lucinda falling into the same old patterns. She hasn't changed. She never will. I think you're just spinning your wheels. Oh, I'm beginning to sound like her. Look, I know everything is over between us. I'm just having a little trouble being a good sport. It hurts.
Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong?
What did I say? I'm just tired. Forget it. Forget it. Forget everything.
We had this conversation yesterday. You know it's a setup. Joe Bailey said, hi, Jessica.
Hi, Caleb's going before the judge in a few minutes. Okay. At what point did we abandon the theory that Brock Lombard was murdered to silence him before he could turn state's evidence and decide it was my client that murdered Lombard along with this other man?
Jess, I think you have to admit there's too much evidence against Caleb to ignore it.
Why do I have to point out to you, Tom, that it's all circumstantial, all part of the setup? When did you stop believing that? Or is it all the heat you've been getting? I'm sure Philip Lombard's behind that, too. I'm sure that's part of the setup. And it sure seems to be working. I gotta get to the courtroom. I just want you to understand, I still believe Caleb's innocent, and I'm not gonna rest until I've proven it.
Ellie, would you wait a minute, please?
We have to explain something to you, but you have to promise us it won't go any further than this room.
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
I canceled all my appointments as soon as I found out that you were here.
That brings back some memories I'd almost forgotten.
Oh, Franny. Look, I know the last couple months have been strained.
Strained, Larry? They were miserable. I was very unhappy. And I drove you crazy asking you for something that you were not ready to give.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm ready now. Come on, Franny. Can you honestly say you haven't missed me? With all that we had going?
I've missed some of it. But I'll tell you what I haven't missed, Larry. I haven't missed the pain of wanting something permanent and trying to believe that I could have it with you. And finding out that all that you really wanted was somebody to share your off-duty hours with and, of course, your bed.
Don't you think that's a little harsh?
No, Larry, I'm being honest. Going back home, spending time with my family, made me realize that I was not wrong for wanting something deeper, more meaningful than what we had. It's been very good for me, Larry. That's why I'm going back now.
If you stay on a little while, I think I can convince you we both want the same things now.
No, Larry, I don't think we do. Hearing you talk about canceling your appointments just now, I couldn't help thinking about my father and a good friend of mine back home. How different their feelings are about being doctors. My friend has GBS. He's paralyzed. But he is still struggling to put his training to use in any way that he can, Larry. And neither he or my father would ever have canceled appointments with their patients for the reasons that you just did.
Doesn't the fact that I did tell you something? Franny, look, we've got so much to talk about. Now, come on, let's go up to Marblehead.
No, Larry. What I think you should do is call Sonia back on the phone and tell her that your appointments are not canceled for the day because, frankly, I'm not going to Marblehead with you or anywhere else. I really have nothing more to say. Except goodbye.
Hey.
Sean.
Ready to go?
It's good to see you. Sean Baxter, this is Larry McDermott. Larry, I'd like for you to meet Sean Baxter.
Nice to meet you.
How do you do?
If we hurry, we can have a quick tour of the clinic and a cook's tour of Boston, which includes the best clam chowder in the world, at a little place I know down on the pier.
All right.
Excuse me. Goodbye, Larry. And thank you so much for coming by today. Of all the talks that we've ever had, I think this was the most important.
I'm gonna try and sell the condominium, and I know I'm gonna have to take a loss because there aren't gonna be a lot of people lined up to buy an apartment that 2 men were just murdered in.
Well, that condo's got to have a lot of unhappy memories for you. Not just this past year, but your marriage to Holden.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of moving into the carriage house. It's been vacant since Craig's gone, and he's got 6 months left on his lease, so...
You know, that's funny. This place has a lot of memories for me.
Yeah, I guess life moves in circles, doesn't it?
Well, here's to better days ahead.
I wonder if they really made an arrest. Well, Yes, Detective Hughes, please. It's Emily Stewart. Could you please tell her it's urgent? Hello, Margot? It's Emily. I know you're busy. I was just... Caleb? Are you sure, Caleb? Thank you. Bye.
What about Caleb?
Caleb was arrested for Brock's murder.
Caleb? Oh, that's crazy. He'd never kill anybody. I'm going to the police station.
Have you any idea how I felt when Antonio Reyes slithered towards me to tell me that he now owned my television station?
I think so.
I don't believe you do. My whole evening was ruined. And on top of that, I'm still cross. And even with John this morning. And it's your fault.
Now, just a minute. I am not going to take the blame for that or any of the rest of it. There is no way that I could possibly have known that Tonio Reyes was the power behind that dummy corporation he had Fred Greer set up for him. I carried out your instructions. I sold the station quickly and made a fortune for you in the process. I'm not going to be dragged out on the carpet like some incompetent schoolboy.
Actually, you got a very, very good price for it. How do you think Tonio got that kind of financial backing?
I don't know, but I want you to understand one thing. I am not going to take this kind of abuse from you. Life is too short. You're behaving like a spoiled child. If you're dissatisfied with my legal services, you're perfectly at liberty
what are you
to go.
talking about? How can you possibly... You're talking to me. How can you forget all the things that we've done together? How we put our shoulders to the plow together? Can you forget that?
I could ask you the same question.
Well, I can't. I would never be able to forget it. Anyway, darling, we're gonna have the last laugh, you know, when the FCC rescinds Tonio's license.
I need to talk to you alone.
You look awful. You look awful. Darling, can you give us a moment together? You could work on Blake's new contract, and the figures are going to be a little higher than what we discussed earlier.
All right. You do look awful, Kirk.
Well,
I hope you're not emptying your coffers to Blake on my account.
No. I need him. He's been invaluable, and I really need him.
I think you're right about that.
You do?
Yep.
Well?
Listen, I'm gonna have to leave Walsh. I have to give up my job.
Now I'm supposed to beg. Offer you money. Beg and plead with you to stay. Come on.
I'm not bluffing. I mean it.
You got a fever? Where are you gonna go?
I'm leaving Oakdale, probably back to Boston.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Tell Mother. What happened with Iva?
No, I'm not gonna go into it. All you have to know is that I gotta get out of town.
Lucinda, Blake's here to see you.
Okay, come in.
Blake, got some great news. I'm leaving. It'd be so much easier if I didn't love you. Now, it seems to me, maybe because of things I've done in the past, you'll never really be able to trust me, no matter how hard I try or how much I change. I'll never be perfect enough for you. Maybe someone else can give you the kind of trust you need, but I don't think I ever can.
Excuse me.
Hi, this is Iva Snyder again. I'm sorry for calling again, but I really need to... I have to see Dr. Michaels today. Yeah, well, I'll take any cancellation, or if she could see me after hours. I really would appreciate it. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Don't ask.
Oh, I've got some good news. I got a letter from Walsh today saying they'll provide the funds needed to support Casey's work.
Terrific. That's
Yeah,
great.
well, it was very generous, I must say.
Excuse me. Yeah, Dr. Dixon here. Oh, good. I'll take it here, thank you.
Hi, darling.
Hello. Have you calmed down?
Ambrose says that I'm behaving like a spoiled child. And I really am kind of upset about the television station stuff, but I was wrong to take it out on you, and you were absolutely right when you say that I let my professional things spill over into my private life. But I can change, darling. I mean, happy in this that she can change. If you'll help me, I'll learn to do better, and I'll be eternally grateful.
Oh, boy. Come on, I'm not asking for gratitude. I just think you'd be a happier woman, that's all. I think it'd be good for you and me, too.
Yeah? Well, I'll try. I mean, I'll try anything. Around here, all I get is people who want to betray me and desert me.
Who has betrayed you and left you now?
Kirk's leaving.
Why?
I'll tell you what he told me if you'll come over and have lunch.
Okay, I'll try. Look, I gotta go now, though. All right, bye-bye. Have you any idea why Kirk might be leaving Lucinda?
You were right. This is the best chowder in the world.
Well, I'm glad I didn't try to oversell it.
Did you come here with Larry?
No, I wouldn't have brought you here if I'd been here with Larry. This I found all on my own. Thank you very much.
Were you, expecting to see Larry in the clinic today?
No, actually not. He just showed up. Acted as if nothing had changed between us. It's really painful to realize how much he manipulated me, you know, looking back on our relationship. And he was so good at it. Just knew exactly the right buttons to push. And what's so scary about it is I never even realized it at the time. You know, I'm a psychologist. I'm supposed to have a little bit of insight to this kind of thing.
It's hard to see situations clearly when you're in the thick of it. Sometimes you just need a little distance.
Yeah. I guess that's what's different now. I never realized how important this trip was going to be.
I'm glad.
Anyway, how's Courtney?
Oh, Courtney got caught after hours in the lounge with a guy, which is against the rules, but she just wouldn't take it seriously, and that is what ticked off the house mother and the student council and finally the dean. But I don't know, I talked the dean. I think I've got it straightened out. It looks like she's going to be able to stay until June, and you think Courtney would have thanked me. No, she just got furious at me. She threatened she was going to run away and that the Hartley school was just a prison, and she wants to be expelled. She wants to be expelled. I know it.
You're really the only family she has.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, do you think that maybe she feels cut off from you and this is her way of trying to get your attention?
Maybe. I don't really understand it. Perhaps it's because all my attention in the last couple of months have been with the beautiful young woman with whom I am enjoying this delicious chowder.
I know this has been rough on you. Let me handle the rest of the arrangements.
Thank you, Jim. I want you to know, you've been like the son I lost. I'm gonna give you more power in the family soon. And a raise to go with it.
That's not necessary, Philip.
You deserve it. You've been loyal. Brock never appreciated what I gave him. I guess it was because I just handed it to him. His weakness was women. They were responsible for his downfall.
What's the next step in your search for Marjorie and the grandchildren?
Well, we've got to find those papers that Ellie Snyder and her brother stole from Brock's suite after they killed him. I want you to send a man out to search the Snyder farm. The papers must be hidden there.
Oh, Jackson kept an eye on the place for weeks when he was trailing Ellie Snyder. He'd know his way around.
Good. Tell him what we want.
What about the police guard?
Well, if necessary, he can take them out take him out, same way he took out Roper. See, I've got to find Marjorie and the children. I want Greg here with me and away from Marjorie's influence. One day soon, he'll be taking over the family. I want you to help me train him, Jim. Hello.
Hello, Philip. It's Emily. I'm glad you're there.
We just got back. What have you heard?
The police have arrested Caleb Snyder. He's been charged for Brock's murder and the murder of the man that was found strangled in Walsh Towers.
Well, perhaps there's justice within the legal system after all.
So the judge refused bail. Caleb's being held in the jail next door. I'm sorry.
How is he?
He's scared. You've made a serious mistake, and I'm gonna prove it.
I know you'll do your best, Jess, so will we. I hope you see why we have to move fast or maybe lose our chance.
Yeah, I'm just trying to piece this all together. You believe that Caleb is innocent, but you have now booked him for 2 murders.
Joe has decided our best chance is to make Philip Lombard believe we bought all the phony evidence that he planted. We had to arrest Caleb to make it credible. We need your help, Ellie, to nail him.
What do you want me to do?
No, Mama, I don't know where Caleb is. I tried to call Ellie at her office, but her secretary said she was out. What? No, I can't go over there. I'll explain later. So I'll talk to Ellie. If she knows where Caleb is, I'll get right back to you. Okay, bye-bye.
Iva?
I'm going out. I'm out to lunch. I'm out to lunch. I'm out to lunch with my husband. I want everything settled by the time I get back, including an explanation from Miss Snyder as to where she was all morning.
I'll get right on it.
Good. Do that. Oh, I'm sick of this place. I'm sick of this place. You know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to retire. I am. If Lily gets tough enough and cuts her teeth soon enough, I'm going to turn the whole shebang over to her.
Yes, reread King Lear, dear.
She wouldn't do that to me. Why, Lily?
I can't see you voluntarily giving up the seat of power to anyone if you want to know the truth.
Well, you're wrong. I would do it. I would happily. I'd give it all to Lily. I mean, the morning that I've had with Kurt. Oh.
Say, what's the deal? Is he really going to leave, or is this just some more impressive shenanigans?
Well, he just refuses to talk. He refuses to say anything at all. He looks ghastly. Has something to do with Iva.
Well, I asked her about the hospital, but she's not speaking either.
Oh, and Blake. Blake is giving me a hard time about his contract.
Oh,
well.
Lucinda?
Yes?
Blake said he has to see you before you leave.
Oh, I have just won the war of nerves. Send him in. Hello.
Hello.
You had time to reflect at your leisure about my wonderful offer. You're here to sign on the dotted line.
Look, Lucinda, I told you I couldn't unless you were willing to come up with another $25,000.
Oh, stop it. Great offer. You know it is. And it's final, too. I don't like to have a gun put to my head.
Lucinda, I didn't come here to negotiate. I just wanted to tell you that I will be leaving when my trial contract expires.
In 3 days?
In 3 days. I've taken another position.
Oh, where are you going? You going back to Boston?
No, I'm signing on with Montgomery & Associates. Lily made me an offer that I couldn't refuse.
Lily, thanks for coming. Oh, it's good to see you. Sit down.
Yeah.
How'd you
find out I was here?
Emily heard from Margot. I came as soon as I could. I can't believe anybody would think that you could kill anybody.
I didn't kill anybody, Lily. I mean, I hated Brock, but I wouldn't have killed him.
Caleb! You don't have to tell me that. I know you. Caleb, you're not alone. I will do everything I can to get you out of here.
You know, it's almost worth it just to see my old Lily again.
Think it's gonna work?
There are no guarantees. It's our only shot.
Well, I'm not crazy about facing Philip Lombard, but if it's gonna clear Caleb, then I'll do it.
Good. We knew we could count on you.
All right, if you're ready. Just be very careful what you say. You should be there now. It's ringing.
Hello?
Hello, I'd like to speak to Philip. This is Ellie Snyder.
Hold on, please. It's Ellie Snyder.
Well, I must say I'm surprised to hear from you.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking about the phone call you made to me last night.
What about?
You said you wanted to know where Marjorie and your grandchildren are, and I told you I didn't know where they were. Well, I lied. I do know where they are. I'm the only person that Brock told.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of the CBS stations. Furs by Christie Brothers. Join us tomorrow for As the World Turns.
This is